Hi everybody and welcome back to the Gentleman's Talk. I'm your host, James Dean Littlejohn. Here I am. I'm here on a Tuesday. I hope you're okay. I've not been too bad, I suppose. But I'm not going to drone on about myself really. I just want to know, how are you? I hope you're okay. I hope you've been getting through the start of this week with the gusto and the vigour and the spirit, spreading the happiness as much as we can. It's payday as well for most people, so today or tomorrow, depending on when you get paid. Actually, it might be different. I used to get paid in the middle of the month, but averagely it's payday soon, so we all start to get a little bit happier. We're out the January blues, we're into February. February's a short month as well anyway, so we feel like we're getting money sooner. So let's get the start of this year going now. Really important. Do you know what? I was reflecting. What spurred me on to talk to you tonight? Well, quite a few things really. One, I suppose, I was feeling a little bit anxious today. I don't know why. I don't really know why. I've been a bit reserved. I've been a little bit irritable the last couple of days. I've not been in the best of place mentally. I don't know why. I suppose things are just getting on top of me a little bit. Not work-wise, just life in general just seems to be getting on top of me a little bit at the moment. I want to see the sun. I want to get back out there. I really want to start socialising a bit more. It's been I really struggle when I don't properly socialise. When it just feels like work, and sleep, and that just doesn't float my boat. It really doesn't float my boat. And when you're working, are you doing what you love? Well, I love the podcasts. I love doing my artwork. I don't get to do that as much as I really want to. I'm really in the drive for my artwork at the moment, and I'm enjoying it. I think I've made about 7 art projects, and I've not made a sale yet, but I'm hopeful because I've not done much advertising. I'm just kind of doing. I want to enjoy the process. I want to, today when I was finishing off the artwork, I actually for the first time didn't enjoy the process. I felt like I was rushing it. It didn't quite feel like perfection was coming as easy as it had previously. And that was my mental state, really, I'll be honest with you. I enjoyed it, but I felt like I was rushing it. The end result was fantastic. I mean, I've picked flaws in it, obviously. But at the same time, I know I'm a little bit particular about, how I like things, and sometimes what I like and what I'd like perfection to be, it sometimes isn't achievable, or if it is it really going to be noticeable? Not really, no, not at the, not the level I am. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sort of selling bits of artwork for, millions or thousands. I mean, yeah, Christ, it'd be an amazing aspiration one day. But I'm just enjoying the process mentally because I found something that I enjoy. I found something that it is not cheap to do. It's not a cheap hobby. But at the same time, the results will come, and that will negate the financial implications eventually, hopefully, if I'm good enough. And then it just turns into fun. It turns into what it should be. I've now got something I enjoy doing, making money to continue to do what I enjoy doing. Do you see what I mean? And that's almost like, that's the perfect job, isn't it? We see a lot of it on social media, TikTok and all this, how people have, they're not going and doing jobs now, are they? Their job is an influencer or a content creator, as I think they're called now. And I'm on that movement a little bit, if I'm brutally honest, because that's ultimately what I like to do. And I can see the appeal. I love talking. I love my podcast. Whether, I'm getting the same feeling out there is I don't really know. But at the same time, I enjoy talking. And it's more about the fact of this is my way of finding relief in my mental state to be able to talk about things and how I feel and genuinely just get a bit more involved in myself. So it's kind of like, here I am in this little tiny sort of shed, if you like, just talking away, and for me that's the enjoyable concept. So I enjoy it. Yeah, there's a lot of enjoyment there, isn't there? It sounded ludicrous at the time then, but But what that has done a little bit, if I'm honest, it's a bit crazy because I've been doing this now for just over a year. It's been a roller coaster. I found my therapy, if you like, and it's building blocks to tackle the challenges I have. I've got quite a strong mind, but at the same time, it has chinks in its armor. And those chinks, sometimes when they sort of manifest and grow into other problems, that's when I struggle. And that's when I'm a big advocate for talking on here, and I'm a big advocate for saying to everybody, you need to open up, guys, get out there, talk, make things known. But then I don't do it myself. So I don't do it as much. But then I use this platform as a way of engaging without feeling like I'm putting a burden on my friends. And just what I like to be for my friends is I like to be the go-to guy. I like to be the happy guy. I like to create fun. It's finding that balance, and that's where the management of mental health comes into play, doesn't it? And you've got to constantly battle that, I've spoke quite in depth about that, and I've noticed a lot of the challenges have really been smashing me in the face lately. If I'm brutally honest, I feel like I'm a boxer that's got no experience and just jumped in and taken on Muhammad Ali just for shits and giggles. Just what I feel like sometimes, and it's kind of trying to manage that, and I think that's the key. I mean, if you can unlock the key there, then you've got the secret to good mental health. But again, it's all different for us. It's also what I was doing tonight was reflecting quite heavily, and I suppose the more I expose myself, as in I've used this as quite a deep platform for me. So the more I expose myself, the more anxious you get a little bit, really. And that's when I like the support from my close friends to make sure that I've been doing the right thing, because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to remove the stigma of us balancing our mental health, our life, our well-being, getting out there, incorporating exercise, enjoying life, taking chances and things like that. It's all of these things are really key, important parts to our life to enjoy it. And it's almost like, I've driven my life for 21 years through military working, if you like, painting helicopters and aircraft. I thought I was going to do that for the rest of my life, if I was brutally honest. It unfortunately it ended, and that was a really big moment in my life, because the beauty of the job that I was doing, although it came to a point where I needed the financial status, as in to get to site manager, and the knowledge and experience and everything else came to that area, I lost the ability to be able to create a little bit more. So I lost the love of it. But in actual fact, what I did love about it then, I realised, was I loved the creativity side of my job. I got to do some very, very, very unusual projects for the RAF, and I enjoyed it. I was very good at my job. When I lost that, I've inherently spent the last 2 years absolutely ploughing into health and safety. Why have I done that? I suppose because health and safety gave me an element of creativity, but it's not until you start doing, and I mean creativity because it's quite nice to be in health and safety in the sense that for someone who struggles mentally, you get the challenges of being, if you learn like I've tried to learn, and you become the top of not the top of your game, 'cause that sounds fucking arrogant, I'm sorry. But I've done my level 6, and that's quite an achievement. So I've done my degree in it. So, and I'm looking at doing my master's. So, with that level of confidence, when you go into a room and you talk to people and you know what you're fucking talking about, that really is an empowering feeling. And it's like you can go in and confidently change mindsets about a project or a way that they've been working, and I find that really, really rewarding. It's almost like you're kind of nurturing people. I don't want to sound fucking cheesy, but because you talk to different walks of life across the board in health and safety, and there's so many fucking things that you look and you go, do you know what, you're fucking crazy. But then at the same time, because I was in the military, I've done a lot of fucking stupid things, and I mean a lot of fucking stupid things. I mean, there was, dare I say it, there's one time when you're sat there and when I first went through, and I'll tell you this little story, it was absolutely fucking hilarious. Was it hilarious? I don't know if you'll see the fucking funny side of it, but this is how dangerous we were. Okay, we're not looking at the funny side of things, we're looking at the danger side of things. So years and years ago, and what they used to do was get us onto a giraffe, which is, and I don't mean a giraffe as in like a, an animal. Call it a giraffe, and it's a pump up staging, basically. Staging, like stairs. You go up and you go up the stairs, and then what we used to do was strap the guy to the top of it, and then basically it was his initiation, if you like. You're not allowed to do that nowadays. It's classed as bullying, and rightly so. And they used to push him tip it into the EWS, the emergency water supply, which is a big old supply of water that we now know should be changed annually, emptied and refilled annually. I think it is. It might even be sooner than that. There's a Legionella thing, and we've never done that. So the military have never fucking done that, I can guarantee you. So there was like literally bacteria flying everywhere, to the point where when the guy was strapped to this thing, the giraffe was in, there was about 15, 20 guys. And they were all he went in, and they were bobbing him, and they couldn't pick him back up. So everyone was jumping on it. They went in, had to try and rescue him. Nearly fucking killed the guy. And yeah, that was like the craziness. So you can imagine, you go from bear with me. I was just turning my heater off because it was bloody hot. Yeah, so, bearing in mind, I mean, you can't do any of that nowadays, so, and rightly so, because it was fucking dangerous. But I've been on that side of things, of doing stupid shit like that. I remember there was one night I was playing fucking 8-ball, we were playing pool, and I got sharked into playing this guy that was a very, 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 very good pool player. And he 8-balled me, and I had to run around the hangar naked, with no lights on. And then I smashed my leg on one of those fucking bike racks, the ones that just had the bike rack to put the tyre in. I ran around the corner and fucking ploughed my shin into that, wiped me out, came around the corner. The fucking coppers, the military coppers, were fucking sat there with full beam on because the guys had rung to say that I was going to run around the hangar naked. Fucking lit me up like a Christmas tree. Bosh, there we are, I think it was like November time as well, so it was Baltic outside. Balls are up in my throat. Nothing there, just a little bit of fucking skin. That was it. And the coppers pulled me over, put me into cuffs. It was all this fucking routine because they thought, what's he doing? I got pulled in. It was absolutely horrendous. So I've been on the side of things. I can fully appreciate when you look at people. And I think that probably gives me a little bit of an edge, because I don't go in with an arrogant attitude, because I know that these stupid things can get done. I've been there, I've done them. So that gives me like an extra edge, I suppose. I don't go in going, you should be doing this, fucking claws, fucking rah, 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 rah. I don't do that. That's not how you do. That's not how you fucking look after people. So, without going into too much of a rant here, that's what I think the mental health side of me gives me onto, because sort of it gives me that ability to manage that. However, what I am noticing, the more I do art, the more that I don't know, I suppose the more that I'm feeling like as I develop and grow and try to battle my mental health, I care less and less about certain things, and I care more about other things. And I'm encroaching on 42 this year, so for me it's kind of all these little things. I'm putting on a bit of weight and all this sort of stuff, and it's kind of, I don't know, you get that thought process when you've had like years and battling mental health for almost 10 years now, like constantly on and off, and it's been 14 years since my first accident, and I'm still fucking battling it. And it's crazy. It's not even like I've got any reason not to be able to pull myself up and out of it. That's the annoying thing with with mental health is there's no quick fix. And when you've endured it for so long, and you need to really get yourself out of those mindsets, and it sort of kind of, as I get a bit older, I really sort of don't want to miss out on the things that I should be enjoying. Like, I should be having fun, going out, enjoying things, going for walks, doing whatever. You get very much to the point where you want to grab as much life as possible. And I suppose that's really hard when you've got mental health problems, that you can shut yourself away. So you're wasting days, you're wasting hours, you're not talking to people, so you're losing engagement with people. And it's just a fucking battle, man. It really is. It's like, it's quite, and it's quite overloading. And that's what's been, do you know what, Reese, it was right up on today, and I'll be brutally honest, and this is not for an attention thing at all, and I must caveat that straight away, because you would know me by now. We're 150 odd fucking in, man. You know, you pretty much know me. But even today, I was sat in front of my computer today, and I was sending out emails to people on some pretty important things, I think, in the grand scheme of things. And I needed a task to be done. It was irrelevant, but I already knew that people were going to ignore my emails, and I already knew that people were going to just ignore me. And I was like, okay then. So, and you know what? The more that I was sat there today, the more and more I went, why have I fucking trained for 2 fucking years to tell people what they're doing wrong, to be ignored by people, and then just sit there and think, I'm just fucking wasting my life. I'm just sat here when I could be fucking doing artwork and having music on and not having the stress of dealing with people that don't fucking care that they're doing things wrong. And I'd rather do that. But that doesn't financially support. So it's kind of like you have to endure mentally crippling fucking days where, and also it doesn't help that obviously, you know, I'm on my own at the moment, and I don't mean that in the sort of sense, but other than my other colleagues are on a course, and it's very fucking lonely. You're kind of sat there, and you're just kind of, I don't know, it just becomes, you contemplate life, and I suppose it doesn't help then when you're battling mental health, and I was honestly, this is no word of a lie, I was sat there in front of the desk, and I went, I really just don't want to fucking be here. If this is my life at the moment, this is what I have to deal with, and what's the fucking point? And that's where I was going, and I was like, fuck, James, you need to get up, James, fucking go for a walk. And it made me reflect quite heavily, because I had to reflect. I was like, fuck you doing, mate? Don't be a dickhead. You know, you're just having a bit of a shit time, or a bit of an off time, you know, whatever. And I have, you know, you've probably heard it over the last couple of podcasts. I'm trying to be as positive as I can. But it's just, I suppose it's just that want for a quieter life. I think when you've had a head that's been, I mean, my mind just never stops. It's constantly just screaming at me and overthinking situations. And, you know, it's really fucking hard to explain, but it's like really overpowering. Some people I can be too fucking overpowering with. Some people I pull away from. My fucking head's just constantly screaming out like, fucking, you know, don't trust that, don't do this, don't do that, no, watch that, oh, fucking cover your back there. It's just constantly worrying. And it's almost like you just get to a point where you're like, I don't really want that anymore. I don't want that worry. I don't need to fucking have that worry. And that's the point of mental health. So I was reflecting quite heavily, like I said, I keep saying before I constantly go off on my tangents. And yeah, I was reflecting a little bit on, you know, how naked I feel at the moment. And I don't mean I'm undressed, but it's almost like I've been talking quite heavily about my life. And the more that you put it out there, the more that you know people are listening, the more that you worry, and you're kind of going, but I'm, at the same time, I was happy that I've done this. I was happy that I've come this far. I was happy with what I've managed to achieve and where I'm going. And you know what? It's a little bit of a happy story, actually, to just to underpin that a little bit. Is I bought, so with my artwork, I bought some a couple of unique bottles, gin bottles off of eBay. That's where I get them, because I don't want generic. I don't want to do the artwork with generic bottles. I want something unique that then sparks my mind a little bit to give me a drive in what sort of pattern's going to go in. And anyway, I spoke to this, I ordered this bottle, and it was a lovely bottle, and sent it through. And what I did was I'd made the artwork this weekend, because I got it just before the weekend. And I sent a photo to the person. I was like, oh, just to say that, you know, this was your bottle. He said, oh, did it arrive safe? I was, yeah, but I've smashed it. He was like, what? I was like, and I showed him the photo, smashed glass gin bottle art. And I say him because, again, I've probably done the most despicable thing you can imagine, and I assumed his gender by a name on eBay. So anyway, but I'll get to that point in a minute. And yeah, I was so we were chatting away, and I said, "Oh, here you go." And the person went, yeah, that's absolutely incredible. Oh my God, that's really nice. Can I show my friends? And I was like, yeah, no problems. And then they got back to me and said, look, I've got all these other bottles. Do you want them? I can send them for you. Just pay the postage. And she had some really, I say she now because I can get it. So I said, oh, thank you very much. You're a true gentleman. That's what I said. You're a true gentleman. Thank you so much for this. He was offering me the bottles for the price of just the postage. And I was like, mate, you're a true gentleman. And then she came back and said, I should hope I'm not a gentleman. I'm a female. And in banter, as you can tell, because she was with her granddaughter. So I didn't ask her age, but I'm assuming she's, sort of 50s, I think, I suppose, granddaughter. You never know. But I'm assuming again. Don't assume. I assumed her gender first, mate. Look what fucking happened there. So I replied back to her saying, well, I had a 50-50 chance. And I say that with fucking bated breath, don't I? Okay, in my world, I had a 50-50 chance at the moment. It's not a very diverse fucking way of saying it, but I was like male or female anyway. So I said, fucking lady, I'm really, really grateful for you. Thank you very much. And then I showed her some other bits of artwork, and because she came back to me and said, "Oh, I've shown my friends, and they all agree it's amazing." I said, "Oh, I've done some more." And I sent some more. She was like, "Do you mind if I share these with my gin and crafts club and all this?" And we had a really long conversation on the back of it, buying a bottle on eBay, and it was all through eBay Messenger. So it's just positivity spreads around a little bit, and it's that made me feel good. Actually, it really did make me feel good this afternoon, and it was nice to get that. I don't know, justification that I'm doing right, I suppose. It was nice to get that recognition. That's the word I'm looking for. Nice to get the recognition for doing something. And I know that there's a lot of people that say to me, "Oh, that's amazing," and etc. And it's normally the people that love me around me, that say it. So you take it with bated breath, because sometimes you think, well, they're just saying it to be me, because they're like, fuck, we don't want to upset James, he's a loose cannon. Or are they saying it because they genuinely mean it? And you hope so, you hope so. But at the same time, when you hear it from random people, and this woman was like, you need to go to the craft stores, you'll sell all these in Awana. I can't believe you're not selling them and all this. So I was like, well, I've got them on an Etsy store. So she was like, oh, send me the link. So just really helpful people. It's amazing how, again, the positivity and the negativity between, work life in the conventional sense compared to me engaging with random people, then bringing out the happiness with art. It's almost like a nice feeling. It's a warm feeling. And why I enjoy it so much, I think it's like I make a lot of things, and I actually end up gifting more than I actually make money on, because I like to see people smile. I like to see them happy, because I know what it's like to sit there and just put that fucking smiling face on. Everyone thinks I'm the class clown, and I say it as it is, which is very true. I do say it as it is. I know what I want. If I want it, fucking I'll have it. And I believe in just enjoying fucking life. I really, really do. You don't get a second chance at this, and you go from men almost go from, and I don't say men in the, I say men because I'm talking from my point of view, but there is obviously other areas. But you think men go through this high rate of suicide, real mental health battles between their early ages, sort of their early adulthood, right through to their sort of 40s. They're sat there battling mental health. Are they doing things right? Performing sexually, performing managerial duties, whatever you may be, or promotion. I don't know. But it's interesting that, and I can caveat that a little bit with a story that I saw on TikTok with a group of women talking on their podcast about the difference between a man being, polite and being wet. And it was like basically just completely and utterly belittling men for not having confidence. And it's almost like you're sat there going, I'm in disbelief. You're literally belittling men on social media because they don't have confidence, and that you're calling them wet. Well, it doesn't. How do they have to have why do men have to have the confidence? Why can't women in the equal rights have the confidence to boost a relationship? Why is it the male's duty? We talk about equality all the time, don't we? But that's another pressure that the man has. And we go through these challenges all the time. So we go through, like, marriage is a big thing. It's a financial implication we always endure as well. And I say modern days actually is quite good. We do, there's a lot of people that share their ways. And I think a lot more relationships are going that way. They have to, because it's just, you can't instill this on a man. We haven't all got the same beliefs in the sense of how marriage should be achieved. But there is still a lot of pressure on men. And we go through that all of our young adulthood, really, from early to middle age are the most stressful times, where suicide rates are astronomical. And, even me, I'm at 42 and I'm sat here fucking like questioning my existence still, because I don't know what I want to be fucking happy. It's crazy life. And I think that's just there's a lot of uncertainty out there in general. But it's trying to get over that hurdle and do something that I want to enjoy now. I don't like the grind. I don't want to be sat there just fucking grinding my teeth to go through the fucking day, to get to the end of the day, to get to the weekend. I don't want to do that. I want every day to be enlightening. And I know that's a blessing, and not everybody gets that, but it's something, it's a challenge, but it drives me. It absolutely drives me. And I think that men really do get a bit of a bad rap still. Seeing that TikTok, then men going through their adulthoods, where they've got to, perform sexually. They're told to take control sexually, and they're told that, you need to lead and drive and be the performer, last this long, I need this and this, and you've got to do all that without learning. It's still a learned process, except we get exposed for it. And then you're going into relationships, you're going into friendships, you're going into work, and then you're driving yourself through work, trying to get promoted. It's just a constant battle, isn't it? And a lot of men feel that. You go home and a lot of men want a simple life. I say a lot, as in the majority, but there is some people out there that don't want a simple life and want to challenge themselves. But yeah, it's a big driving factor. And then you sort of encroach into when that subsides and you get a little bit of a break, and then you go into the realms of all of that stress that you've endured in those early years has heightened your risk of prostate cancer and things like that. So it's kind of, that's on the other side. So when you should be chilling out, you've now got the worry of high rates of cancer, because men are fucking idiots, and we don't go and get ourselves checked out. So I will say on that, please, whilst I've got you, my father didn't pass away, but had prostate cancer, and it went to 3 lymph nodes. So really has taken years off him, and it's radiations in his muscles and everything. And that was because, not wholeheartedly, but I think there's elements of, not ignoring it a little bit, dare I say it. And I know he'll deny that, but at the same time, I think he did. I would feel that way. How many times have we sinned there and you've gone, oh, fucking hell, I'll ignore that. I had a fucking lump on my testicles. I ignored it for about 2 years, and I went, fuck, I need to go and do something about this. That would have been too long, James. You're fucking done. It's a man thing, I think. We don't really want to go around that area, you know what I mean? So take it fucking steady. Don't ram your fingers in, cowboy, slow down. That's often what I try and say. Fortunately for me, I do actually get on the back of that. I do go and get my PSA done annually, and I have the old finger in the bum. I don't need the finger in the bum, but I just said fucking chuck it in, mate. I'm not paying for it. So yeah, and it's a win-win. He gets the experience, I get the experience, and I know that I'm healthy. So it's a win-win situation. Anyway, I'm not going to digress into that field, because that is not where I am an expert. But yeah, I don't know, it's kind of, we go through all these stages, all these battles as men, and it's very difficult. And I think that we're constantly still taking raps, we're still taking everything else, and it's about trying to remove that stigma as well, so that we can get out there and fight ourselves, fight for our corner. It's very important that we acknowledge that. And I know that sometimes this can be seen probably like a bit of a soap opera. I've had a couple of comments like that with regards to my podcast. I've had some really lovely feedback, actually, especially one from my number one fan, and I have to say, Nelly. He has literally been he's listened to every single podcast from start to finish. He even actually, and this is I will say, this is where sometimes we don't pick up on things, and it's very easy to slip by. Is he mentioned this today, which was really nice actually that he mentioned it. Not today, sorry, yesterday, last night. And he mentioned it to me because it resonated with me as well, because I did a podcast where I called it's okay to not be okay. And that was when I first found out about my daughter. So yeah, I found it very, very tough. And he said he listened to that podcast again, and he didn't listen to it the second time the way that he listened to it, the same way he listened to it the first time. And he said he didn't realise how much pain was in my voice. And you know, there was a lot of emotion in that podcast, a lot of emotion, and he said he's probably let himself down and not asked me how I'm getting on. And it was nice of him, firstly, that's a key part to having friends. That's what we want from friendship. We want people to reach out. So, you know, that's a thing that we need to all do better in, I think. But it was nice that he acknowledged it, nice that he sort of said, you know, if you need me, I'm here. And that's a really rewarding thing. It's a really nice thing to have. Everyone I've spoke to, even one of my old friends when I went to Burns Night the other week, Yorkie, my friend, he basically turned around and said, look, mate, you know, I'll take you out. I think I mentioned it in the podcast. I'll take you out for a pint and we'll, you know, I'll just rip the shit out of you for a couple of hours and we'll have a couple of pints. And, you know, I don't want to hit you and fluffy. You can talk, but I'll rip the fucking shit out of you. And it's nice. And that's what you want as a bloke. You want people to dull down your pain a little bit, but still allow you to express the pain. And I think that's the hardest thing for men. And I still, even now, I feel like even my podcast, when I'm talking and where I've come from, a year ago to where I am now, even I think, Christ, I've spoken a lot. I've mentioned a lot about my life. My life is out there, basically. Am I embarrassed? No, not at all. Because I think that it's really, for me, it's so important to address that mental health is real. It really is. And even know that if you know me, you think I'm this fucking happy-go-lucky guy, just up for fucking craziness all the time. I am an adrenaline junkie. I always have been. And I get very, very, very suppressed. And I get very angry when I don't get the release of the fun. It's really crazy. But when I don't get it, it really does affect me massively mentally. So it's tough. It's a real tough situation at the moment. But anyway, I don't want to digress into that because this is not what it is what it's about. But at the same time, like I said, it's removing that stigma and allowing for people to be able to be open and honest, whether it's with your partner, whether it's with your friends, your parents, your siblings, whoever it may be, cousins, nephews, nieces, whatever, whoever it may be that you want to confide in. It's really important that you find that person. It's really important that you find that person because, you know, for me, it's invaluable because even when I don't want to talk, there'll be a time when I do something where we'll come out and talk. And normally, to be fair, that's times like, you know, I'll go and play golf with my friend Kieran, and we'll have a round of golf, and I'll normally that's when I can relax because I'm in a relaxed environment. Then I'm just kind of my own self. Or normally we do the most time that I really express myself is genuinely a bit old school, if you like, is over a beer. I don't really do talking on the phone. I fucking hate it. I hate talking on the phone. I really fucking do. I don't know why. I like making little videos. I think it's because, in fact, I know why I don't like talking on the phone. It's because I don't want to shut the call down because I feel like I want that person to just get everything off their chest and make themselves feel good. So, which is often why I stay on the phone a lot longer than I normally do, and than I normally should. And I think that, for me, I like to control things so much that I don't want people to call because I know that I'm out of control. I want to keep listening because I'm like, fucking offload on me. Not literally, you fucking horny bastards. And, I'm sort of sat there and I'm like, I can keep doing that, but it just I keep absorbing it. And I'm like, fucking hell, this is fucking crazy. Do you know what I mean? And then I can't control it. Whereas if I send a personal video message, you get what I want to get across to you in a funny, quippy sort of way, bit of a laugh, and then we shut down. I don't have to endure the ums and the ahs. That's a bit weird of me, I suppose, and that's a bit of a control freak that I've become. Control freak in a good way. I just think I like to manage my life. I like to manage what I do. But yeah, I'm not going to churn on anymore because I think I've said enough for tonight. But I certainly do feel a little bit happier. Like I said, I've been very shut away. I've been on my own now for about a week, I think, just kind of working, chilling, just reflecting on and off, So it's nice to be able to vent. And yeah, just get us all through this in this sense of help each other out. That's the key importance. And that's what I'm trying to drive, I suppose. In fact, before I do close down, I need to think of somebody said to me, and I need to ask this question, does there have to be an end goal? So somebody said to me, because I was doing a podcast and I'm doing, I'm doing my artwork and I'm doing my, what's the other thing I'm fucking doing, James? I can't fucking think. Oh my God, it's completely gone. Podcast, artwork, something else, I can't remember. It's completely gone. But I'm doing it for, there's an end goal. Oh, TikTok, that's it. Sorry, fuck me, TikTok. What's the end goal? What's the end goal for you, James? What do you want out of it? Do you want fame? Do you want riches? I was like, and this is, I think this is just the old school in me, because I don't really see the point in there being an agenda. I just want to help people, and this is a nice medium for me to do it. The TikTok is like it's a little fun thing to do, modernise myself. I suppose it's a way of keeping myself a little bit, in the game at fucking 42 almost. It sounds a bit sad, a bit cliche, but it does. It keeps me in the game, and also, it promotes positivity, I think, and that's what I'm about. I fucking hate negativity. I really do. Even to the point where even some of the messages I get on TikTok are very negative. Sometimes you're like, oh fucking hell, shut up, you fucking weirdo, and you're like, wow, this is a positive message, mate. And there's so much anger out there, but you have to keep driving forward, don't you? You have to keep going forward. And I think that, yeah, so for me, what's the end goal? I don't really know. I genuinely don't know. I suppose I enjoy doing this, so I'll keep doing this. The more that I enjoy it with the music and chilled out, it gives me something to focus on, something to keep my mental state stable, if you like. So if it's a therapy session for me, if you like. And yeah, but it's a question I want to say. Does there have to be an end goal? I'd love to know from you, actually. Do you think there should be an end goal? What do you think the end goal would this be? Realistically, I mean, I don't know. Like I say, I'm not interested in, fucking quitting my job or anything like that. What this is just for me. I just want to know what you would think there could be an end goal. Anyway. Enough of that bullshit. Yeah, thanks for listening. I hope you're all okay, as I said at the start. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. And, you've been absolutely fantastic listening. And I hope you're enjoying the content that I'm promoting and pushing out there. And enjoying the new dulcet tones on this mic as well, which is absolutely fantastic. I've heard the clarity's nice, but that's it. I've been told it's a bit quiet, so I've upped the gain. I think that's what they've done. I've upped the gain, and hopefully it's a bit better. I'll get some feedback from my friend, my number one fan, if you like, Nelster, and I'll get some feedback and see what he thinks. So yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Have an amazing week. Just try and stay as positive as you can. Get those milestones in. Get the meditation, get the reflection time in. That's what saves me, is my reflection time. It helps me reflect on the journey I'm on, what I'm doing. Am I on the right path? Am I not on the right path? What can I do to get onto the right path? Reflection is a real key part to my mental health management, if you like. And I think that's a really important thing to do, is find what the key component is to your mental health and stick with it. Like I said, art is another component to mine. My podcast is another component to mine, and they all form this almost like the way I can describe it's like a barrier around me. It's I can pick and choose of what that kind of makes me happy. That makes me happy. That makes me happy. These things perk up my mental health. Find that thing that you want to make you happy. Whether it's just, you might just be sat in there. I don't know. I'm going to chuck out there because Nelly's on my mind. Maybe it's an hour of UFC, and he knows that every night he wants an hour of UFC. These are the things that you try and do to promote your happiness. And that it can be everything. If we can try and incorporate into something that's positive for our well-being, such as, you know, reflection, meditation, walking, all these sort of things, exercise, good eating, healthy water, all that sort of stuff. If we can incorporate these little additional key components onto the side, we end up with a really resilient character, don't we? We become a force to be reckoned with. And like I said, that's what helps me. Even when I'm feeling my downest of days, I've still got the armor. I've still got enough components in my armor to be able to fight those fires, and then deal with deal with the aftermath in my own private time, like I am doing tonight. And I think that that's the key part. When you've got those little components to dip into, they offer you the extra fuel, the extra ammunition, whatever you may need to fight the next day. Always write off the day as well. If it's a bad day, write it off, move on. Don't dwell on the shit in the past. It's in the past for a reason. The reason we call it a present is because it's a gift. And the reason it's called the future is because it's unknown. So there you go. Thank you for listening. Take care and have an amazing positive week.